This is the Thought Leaders Podcast.
Well, for me, I guess you held on to a videography job for a little longer.
Yeah.
I basically at the same time I was doing the YouTube, like kind of just on and off with Goal Guys. I had finally gotten membership with the union, and I got my first like big time show where I was on the crew for season 1 of Umbrella Academy, which was this Netflix show with a lot of money thrown into it.
I've seen it. It's good.
So I worked on that for for 10 months and change, I guess. It was supposed to be a 9-month show. It turned into like 10 months and change. And by the end, it was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Or at least I don't want this to be my full-time job, because I think at one point I had done 31 days straight on that show. And I was like, I'm done. Like, this is not sustainable anymore, just for my own mindset. So by then I had saved up a bit of money. I had just gotten married, and I was like, okay, I can, even if I'm making significantly less money, which I was like, maybe we can start growing the channel at a much faster rate, and I'll make videos faster, and hopefully that can turn into a full-time job for both of us. And that took time. It was not a good financial decision. It didn't look like decision for a few months, and now we're finally catching up to where we'd hoped to be probably 6 months ago.
Yeah,
okay.
It was definitely a scary transition for sure. I was doing work that was very similar to making YouTube videos. I was just basically doing social media video content, but for brands. And so I was trying to balance just making videos basically 60 to 80 hours a week between my contract work and then the YouTube channel. And yeah, it's scary when it gets to the point where you want to be making YouTube videos, but giving up a very consistent, well-paying job it's a tricky balance, and definitely a leap of faith. But it's been all right. It's had its ups and downs, had some challenges, but yeah, it's been a good risk so far, at least.
Okay. That's really cool to hear. And I guess so I think you guys are super unique, right? Like with all the challenges. Where did that come? Was that something you guys were doing as kids, like always challenging each other, or like how did that idea of the format of the channel come about?
I think, for when Cam was doing this for a while, he was trying to do like 10 yearly goals and doing like weekly update videos on where he was with each of those challenges. And just the workload was getting a little overwhelming, I think, to try and hit those weekly targets. So I came in and was like, well, what if I just did these challenges that only lasted X amount of time, and then I'll have a video a month, basically. So I'll do a challenge on like trying to learn, see if I can become like a really good free throw shooter by doing something different and just shooting the ball underhand.
Mhm.
And that seemed like it was going to be sustainable for me to do. And then what we realized after Wolverine and a couple of those started to do pretty well was taking on those challenges within a set window of time. People were really connecting with that, and the YouTube format lent itself to that medium, because you can kind of tell a full story in 10 minutes of like, yep, I tried this thing, it was this, and then this is how far it got me, this is what happened. And we kind of just realized that trying to do long-term video vlogs just wasn't connecting the same way those challenges were. And I was like, well, we should just do more of those challenges.
Okay. I'm really happy that you brought up like 10 minutes. So when I watch a Goal Guys video, right? Like let's say a 30-day challenge of something, or even a 7-day challenge. So I see it in 10 minutes, but you guys are doing this for like a long time, right? So I just would love to know what goes into it. Like, does it affect, I mean, I'm assuming it affects like your everyday life. Just kind of walk me through what it is to put through a challenge, like to put together a challenge.
Yeah, it's actually a terrible way to structure a business model, because every 30 days your life is getting semi or completely interrupted depending on how involved the challenge becomes. When I was trying to like learn chess in 30 days, that was just a time commitment that was really draining. And doing that simultaneously with a fitness challenge, it was like, oh, I haven't done a good job with anything else for this business while I've been working on these two things. So they can easily overwhelm you, and you have to make sure you're staying on top of it, because if you're not, then you don't have a video to release, and that becomes another problem.
Yeah, it's really tough because it's also you're doing something for 30 days, but also if you want to post more than 2 videos a month for our channel, which we would love to be doing, it's like you have to be doing multiple things at a time. And so it's always juggling editing our videos together and then balancing usually 1 or 2 challenges at the same time. So it's just a lot of stuff going on at once. And then a lot of the stuff we do, like we're both in like serious relationships, and so it's like going without a cell phone for a month. It's like, okay, now this is balancing a new element of my life, like with my partner and with my friends. And so it's just like a big time commitment and a lot of juggling that happens.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've tried to do anyway is to try and keep a routine in spite of like how disruptive the challenge feels like it is. So trying to dedicate a certain chunk of the day to say this is, if it's an exercise video, if it's a learning video, I'm going to try and do the work that I need to do for it in this period of time of the day, and then continue with business as usual for the rest of it. It is not always easy to do because certain challenges make you want to procrastinate. When I was doing the challenge, that was really disruptive because I didn't like.
Which challenge did you say?
What's that?
Which challenge? You cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry. I did a running challenge where I tried to run a 5-minute mile in 60 days.
Okay.
And I just did not really enjoy doing circuit training for that. And saying I'm going to get to this at 10 a.m., that very quickly turned to 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. And it could really throw off the rest of the day because I was like, I don't want to do this. But this is the thing on my to-do list. I need to get it done. And then I just wind up messing with my day. But when you're doing a good job, yes, you get the stuff done, and then you designate the time for the other things that you need to be on top of.
I hope you enjoyed this part of the interview, and for the full interview, remember to click the link below.